A skydiver has crashed into a tent while celebrating America's 250th anniversary, as you can see here. This occurred during the opening night in Folsom at the Pro Rodeo in California. He escaped with just a small cut above his head, and no one else was hurt, thankfully. He was carrying a red, white, and blue parachute, and then the American flag as well. The flag caught on tree branches as he was skydiving into the rodeo, and well, you see what happens here. Millions of people have seen this video now, and he received a standing ovation after getting up with literally just a single scratch. It looked like it hurt, but thankfully he wasn't injured in any way. The event carried on with all of its 4th of July festivities. This occurred in Folsom, California. Let me know if you were there. I would love to hear your perspective from on the ground. As always, spread the word and follow along to stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. I'll have another update for you shortly. And if you want to support my work, subscribe to my Substack, link in bio.
And they are lucky someone didn't get killed. And they are lucky someone didn't get killed right here as the roof collapses on the stage for the Freedom 250 4th of July celebration. This is an absolute embarrassment, complete humiliation. Trump is said to be fuming, raging, ordering that pics like the one you see in the middle are removed from social media, showing that no one is coming to his little gathering. The Great American State Fair, as they call it, it is truly an embarrassment. The lack of people, the non-interest from the citizens of this country in this whole event is one thing. But then, as you just saw, the stage falling apart. Also, the statue that sits down here at the front, that some think is real or something, it's made of like plaster. It's falling apart, and they've been up there trying to caulk it together and keep the whole thing together. This is really showing what America is all about, right? Trump's faking the whole thing, and the whole thing's falling apart. No one believes in him. No one believes in this country. And this kind of shows it through and through. So he's supposed to give this big speech on the 4th of July. You can guarantee that when the cameras are rolling then, they're going to haul in busloads of people paid to be there. They're going to just guarantee it as he's giving the speech. He lied and turned around and said that this place was brimming. It was packed to the brim. It's never been packed to the brim. There's very few images out there showing more than a couple dozen people at best, as you can see right here and right here. This is probably the fullest that I've seen it yet. And that's nothing for the entire mall there. And again, an absolute embarrassment. So this is what's going on with Freedom 250, the Great American State Fair. I would be weary of going up on that stage because it could fall apart and kill you. Join me for the live shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, covering this and more. Much love.
Paramedics had to come in and took out 15 different people because they collapsed under the heat.
It is so hot outside. There's no water anywhere.
So why is that?
Go around. Yes, we are having a lot of heat-related illnesses. People are just dropping.
Okay, all right. So till 5, they're going to reopen at 5.
That is what.
America's 250th anniversary celebrations kicked off with patriotic spectacle, but in Washington, brutal heat forced the Great American State Fair to shut down for several hours before reopening later in the evening. As temperatures soared across the Midwest and East Coast, officials scramble to keep festivities running safely, while much of the country baked under dangerous conditions.
Paramedics had to come in and took out 15 different people because they collapsed under the heat. So they're not shutting things down to be controlling. They shut them down for safety. People, go get yourself hydrated. You got a gap where they shut it down from 1 to 5. The reason being is it is over 100 degrees. And I got sweat dripping down me, and I was inside, and it was dripping off my arms. And finally, when they shut down, it took me 4 water bottles with pinches of salt before I was out of the danger of like passing out from heat. And I was inside.
The July 4th buildup was packed with grand displays. President Donald Trump headed to South Dakota for a speech and fireworks at Mount Rushmore, while New York City prepared a rare Times Square ball drop at midnight to ring in Independence Day with New Year's Eve-style fanfare. In Washington, fighter jets thundered over the National Mall as crowds poured into the Great American State Fair, snapping photos, sweating through patriotic outfits, and ducking into tents for shade, lemonade, and turkey legs.
Oh, we were right at the gate when they stopped letting people in. So, but that, we were like, oh, we'll go a little later, we'll avoid some of the heat. And they were starting to make people come out. And they just said people were getting sick and passing out. And they just thought we got to get the people a break and get them into the museums and try to get them to cool off.
But the scorching weather quickly disrupted the party. By early afternoon, the Great American State Fair shut down before reopening at 5 p.m., while Philadelphia canceled its Salute to Independence parade altogether. The National Weather Service issued extreme heat warnings stretching from eastern Kansas to southern Maine, covering major cities including St. Louis, Indianapolis, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York, and Boston. Officials warned that heat indexes could climb as high as 115 degrees Fahrenheit, turning holiday celebrations into a serious health concern.
Yeah, overwhelmingly hot is an understatement. It is incredibly hot. It's a disaster to be out there. And I would just say that these museums are a lifesaver. I mean, it is so hot outside. There's no, water anywhere.
The main July 4th spectacle is still ahead, with fireworks, block parties, and backyard cookouts planned across the country. Trump is also set to deliver another speech at the National Mall before what is being billed as a huge fireworks display in Washington. But beyond the red, white, and blue celebrations, the anniversary is also unfolding against a politically divided backdrop. In New York, Mayor Zohran Mamdani described America as a country of contradictions, working each day towards the perfection in which it was conceived. The split is also visible in who is organizing the celebrations. Freedom 250, a White House-aligned group, has taken charge of much of Washington's programming, including the Great American State Fair, while America 250, the bipartisan commission created by Congress, is behind the Times Square ball drop and a Los Angeles concert. So even as the U.S. celebrates 250 years of independence with fireworks and flyovers, the heat wave and the country's political divide are both impossible to ignore. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump addressed the nation from Mount Rushmore as America's 250th anniversary celebrations gathered momentum across the country.
The triumph of American independence was the result of the most extraordinary people in history, the most extraordinary culture in history, and the most extraordinary ideas in history, all creating the most extraordinary republic ever in history. So tonight, let us say clearly and proudly what makes Americans so unique and extraordinary. We're going to give our country its identity back. Above all, Americans love freedom. We cherish independence, and we know that we are the heirs to the most beautiful land, the most thrilling story, and the most precious legacy on which the sun has ever shined. In America, we do not need anyone's permission to say what we think and to live as we please, to worship as we choose, or to keep and bear arms. You know that. In America, we speak English because that is the language of our founding, and for 1,000 years, that has been the language of freedom. An American always wants peace and order, but we will never shrink from danger or threat. We will always fight, 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 and win, win, win. We got to do that. Because this is our culture, this is our character. Not every American is all of these things, but every American knows these are the traits that make our country exceptional, and exceptional it is. You do not have to be born here, but you do have to love what we have built. You must love our country. America will never be a communist country. We can only lose the midterms if we allow ourselves to lose the midterms, if we are foolish, stupid, and unwise. But if we terminate the filibuster, as we should do, and immediately vote for the Save America Act, then we will not lose an election for 100 years.